Hi everyone, welcome to the Religion Show, episode 4. It's been an extra week since we've done this show. We took a week off. There is a reason for that. You probably remember in the last show that I said the world was probably going to end. It didn't end after all, but those things happen. But since I thought the world maybe was going to possibly end, I decided to do some things that I've just kind of been meaning to do for a while. One of those things was I had been meaning to get circumcised. Never happened when I was a baby. I mean, there's no medical reason or any other reason these days besides religious reasons to get circumcised. And my mother decided that she wanted me to be circumcised because we practice every religion, and a lot of religions do require circumcision. But she thought it should be something I experience as an adult when I can decide for myself to do it. So thanks, Mom. So that's what I did. I did it right after, the weekend after the last taping. Went to get circumcised, not from a doctor, interestingly. I found some form of priest or something like that, and he did it for me. He's kind of an old-fashioned sort of one who was able to, when he cut the foreskin, he removed it with his mouth. That's something that's still practiced even on infants now. So he did that for me. It was a little unusual, but all part of the experience. That happened. And something else I did, as long as I figured as long as they were down there with a scalpel, I asked them, would you guys go ahead and give me a vasectomy also? And the guy said, sure. I asked him if he had ever done a vasectomy before, and he said no, he only did circumcisions. But then he said, how hard could it be? It turned out it was kind of hard. I mean, hard for me anyway. I mean, because, I took a Valium, which is the first time I've ever done that, which was meant to calm me down, but it really just kind of made me have more like panic attacks and feel weird about myself. It's like I was able to relax myself into a state of clear thought, if that makes sense. That's how I phrased it at the time. I don't know what that means now. But I took it and tried to calm myself down. But he gave me some sort of anesthesia. He'd already given me that, and then he took the scalpel, kind of ripped into the scrotal sac. Pulled out one of the vas deferens, which is the tube that carries the sperm. Put like a needle right into it. Then cut it off and put some clamps on it. And also interestingly, I solderized it. And the coolest thing about it to me was that when he was burning the actual tubes, when they were kind of hanging out of my sac. You could smell it. You could smell the burning. It was cool. It really reminded me of last week when we killed the goat and sacrificed the goat and ate the goat. So, the point is, though, I had to, I took a week off and still kind of hurting. When you get two things done at once like that by somebody who's not a medical professional, there sometimes are complications. So I thought for our opening prayer, this is a little selfish, but I thought I'd say a prayer of healing. And this is kind of a classic traditional Muslim prayer of healing. And you're meant to touch the area that needs to be healed while this is happening. So I'll do that off camera. And okay. Kind of actually hurts a little to touch. And then I'll say the prayer. O Allah, the sustainer of mankind, remove the penal pain, heal the scrotal sac. You are the one who cures. There is no cure except your cure. Grant us a cure that leaves no infection. Okay. And with that, we're going to go on with the religion show.
The Religion Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the religion show. Usually at this point I do a monologue, but I actually feel like I need to get off my feet a bit. So we're just going to go over to the news. Hi. Man, it feels good to sit down. Okay. Hi. Welcome to Religious News. And the first story, we said at the top of the show that the world didn't end after all. So I hope you don't regret too much some of the things that you may have chosen to do, thinking the world was going to end. I know I really promoted that idea, but the world did not end, but we do have an update on that, and the world is going to end sometime before the end of the year. Basically, the calculation was a little off. The prophet was a little bit too specific on when he thought the world was going to end, but don't worry, it is going to end, I guess, by December 31st, so make your New Year's celebrations, but it can happen at any time, and that is biblical. All right, the Ten Commandments in the news once again. You guys remember people like Roy Moore, who's always wanting to put 10 Commandments on government buildings. Well, we've got somebody else now wanting to put up the 10, or not wanting to, he has put up the 10 Commandments. So we're going to, see what happens as a result there. The last time this one was put up, it kept being knocked down. Which, kind of makes sense. I mean, Moses himself smashed the commandments, and Jesus went through and knocked over things. I mean, either way, it's fine, whatever way you react to the Ten Commandments. I am a bit curious. I haven't looked at them in a while, to be honest, the Ten Commandments. And so this guy made a big monument, a big graven image for the Ten Commandments to put on government property. So let's see, what's that first commandment? Okay, don't have any other gods before me. All right, let's take a look at the second commandment. Don't have any. Okay. So he put up. Oh, this actually reminds me of a cute story. I have this sign hanging in my office. Yeah, there it is. So anyway, all right, you're going to like this next story. It's kind of a sweet little story. As you know, as I reported in a recent episode, the Pope confirmed, yes, that hell does exist. Apparently there was some question about his doubting it or saying it might not exist, so he kind of went on record to say, yes, it exists. There is a burning hell, all the rest of it. And this does trouble people to know that if you don't meet a certain criteria, that your afterlife will be torture forever in a pit of fire. And in fact, there was this one little boy, sweet little boy, whose dad had recently died. His father was an atheist, and so the boy naturally was concerned that his atheist dad would be burning in hell, because that is what the Pope told him, that's what the church told him, that's what everybody told him. And so he wanted to hear it from the horse's mouth, I suppose, so he happened to be in an audience with the Pope, and so he asked him a question.
Dai. Vieni da me, Emanuele.
Okay, and so this is the sweet moment that's being shared all over the internet. People have really been touched by the Pope's answer. As you know, this is the liberal Pope we're talking about, Pope Francis. Everybody loves him. Catholics, non-Catholics, liberals really love him. I see him share it all over social media. So I mean, he's just, he's a heartwarmer. So let's. He brought the boy up because the boy was, crying and everything. So he whispered something in his ear, and it's really hard to hear, but we kind of amplified the volume for you so you can hear it. So let's take a look at that.
Un po' di tempo mia papà molto era un non credente. Ero un bravo uomo. Il mio papà è in paradiso o all'inferno.
Ho potuto balbettare.
All right, like I said, that was a really heartwarming story. And speaking of hell, gay people. Gay people back in the news. There was a news story recently that religion in general has become more accepting of gay people, of gayness as a thing. As you know, I mean, if you're my age, I'm in my 40s. For all of my life, all the major religions that I was exposed to, and I was exposed to more than most, had a big problem with gay people. Said that they were an abomination unto God, and the things they were doing were sinful, and that even if they were born the way they were supposed to deny that part of themselves. And so just being gay was bad all around. And don't get me wrong, I mean, religion is hanging in there. Haven't quite given up yet. But it has become, it does tolerate gay people more, is learning to accept gay people more. And so, I think what's going to happen is that religion is going to have to decide, what new group of people to completely annoy and oppress and make their lives completely miserable, whether they're religious or not. Just the atmosphere of religion and repression against them. Religion is going to have to just pick a new group. Who's it going to be? I don't know. I might even be part of it. I don't know. It's all fascinating. All right. So, sometimes religion gets it wrong, I guess. Religion got it wrong on gay people, and are learning that now. And I guess on behalf of religion, I just want to ask the gay people to forgive us, and let's forget about it and move on. Okay? That's most of the religions that I really like practice forgiveness in that way, where no matter what you do, you just ask forgiveness. You can ask forgiveness of people. You can ask forgiveness of God, especially. And in fact, skip the whole asking forgiveness of people thing. Asking forgiveness of God, why not go straight to the top? So, yeah, no matter what kind of bad thing you do, whether you go to confession or whether you just have a private prayer or whatever it happens to be, if you ask God for forgiveness, He's going to forgive you. And I think that's one of the most wonderful things, certainly about Christianity, but other religions that practice that absolute forgiveness also. It's just a beautiful, wonderful thing that no matter what's going on, you can always just say, I'm sorry, and everything will be okay. So yeah, forgiveness. A beautiful, beautiful thing. Our next story. Priest prayed for forgiveness while raping a 13-year-old girl. Okay. Hi guys. Sorry, the last segment ended a bit abruptly, but pretty sure we were done with the segment. So, all right. So here we are back again, and at the risk of being repetitive, I attempt to practice every religion in the world. Current religions that have gone before, and it's a full-time job just keeping up with it. And sometimes things come along that feel like religions, but you're not really sure if they are. So I'm going to introduce a new segment now called "Is This a Religion?" Is this a religion? All right, today on "Is This a Religion?" We're going to talk about pyramid schemes, and sometimes called multi-level marketing. Basically, it's the idea where you're not so much selling a product as you're trying to get other people to sell products. So you get like 3 friends, and then those 3 friends get 3 friends, and then within about like 10 to 15 cycles of that, you've got the entire world. So I think on that level of trying to like reach the entire world and conquer it in that way, then score 1 point for pyramid schemes being a religion. And I'm thinking about my own experience. I've never been in a pyramid scheme myself. My mother has. I mean, she used to do Mary Kay and stuff like that. She had the whole car. And it felt very much like a religion or a cult when she was doing it. I didn't really think about it at the time, but I kind of am now. She had some weird ones too. Like there was one where she just kept begging me and all her friends and family members to pay $20 a month, and anytime we need it, we could get free dog catcher service. So I did it, and I was kind of in debt after a while, and I had to buy all this extra stuff. Like you had to supply your own things. You had to catch the dogs yourself. Anyway, it was a whole ordeal. But so I've had a little bit of experience with this, and I thought right now we would just show a few clips of different religious groups and also different groups that are parts of pyramid schemes, and see if you can spot which one's the pyramid scheme. Take the soul and show the right direction. Made of that soul, put it in perfection. Now our spirits delivered from possession. Fill our souls with songs of salvation.
Then here's your first word on where we're going. Not just above and beyond any year in history, but to places you never dreamed possible, because this isn't just welcome to our IAS anniversary 2006. This is welcome to reshaping the destiny of Earth.
So I think we can score another point there for pyramid schemes being a religion. We've briefly mentioned proselytizing before, telling 3 friends, and proselytizing is definitely a part of a lot of religions, whether you're just asking someone to go to church, or whether you're going to airports and talking to people there, passing out pamphlets. And a lot of it happens here, whether you're on Facebook or getting invited to Tupperware parties or whatever it happens to be. Seems like proselytizing really is the job. It's not really the product so much. It's like your full-time job is constantly promoting the company itself. So you become something of an evangelist. So that seems to fit too. Everybody's kind of desperate to get you to join up. And goodness knows I've been involved in some proselytizing myself. I always had a fun pitch for when I wanted to invite somebody to church. I'd say, hey, why don't you come to church with me? And they would say, well, I don't really find the need to go to church, And I would say, well, of course you need to go to church. You need to be, forgiven of your sins. And they would say, well, I mean, to be honest, I can't think of any like major sins that I have. I fail like every human, but like as far as like sins go, I don't think I have any. And so I always said, don't worry, the church will provide you with those. So that was always my pitch. And this is kind of like that too. It's like if you want to get involved in the multi-level marketing, it's like, well, I don't have the stuff that I need, the pills to sell or the shakes or the whatever it happens to be. It's like, don't worry, we'll provide you with that too. So I think let's score another point for pyramid schemes being a religion. Do pyramid schemes have gods? No, I don't think they do. So what else do pyramid schemes and religions have in common? You can get fancy titles, like if you're in a pyramid scheme, you could be called something like an ambassador. If you're in a religion, you can get a fancy title like a bishop or usher. I don't know. So yeah, that works. A lot of times the pyramid schemes are like the prosperity gospel. Let's run a few clips of those and see if you can kind of figure out the difference there.
I also want to give you a personal invitation and a challenge to come back and be with us on a regular basis. We ask new believers, give us the next year of your life. Make a commitment to come as often as you can. I'll make a promise to you, your life will never be the same for the better. And when you come back next week, bring somebody with you. A friend, a family member, a co-worker. All they need is an invitation.
And I told God that all of you would be stewards. That if He would fill the storehouse, you would manage it. That if He would fill your bank account, you would manage it. That if He would fill your business with success, that you would manage it. Hallelujah. And when God told you to go and do that and go do that and pay that bill and build that person's house and get them that street and start that ministry and do that, you'll never have to pause and say, but where the money at?
To show the world, it works. It works. You must succeed so that other people can realize their dreams. We believe in you. It's real. It works. You can do it too. You just saw me do it.
All right, so now we're getting into kind of the heavier stuff, more of the maybe like supernatural parts that it's really kind of the bread and butter of religion. Do pyramid schemes have supernatural elements to them, like things like miracles? Let's see. Let's run a clip of some of the things that maybe some of these products can do.
Speed Drink. You may be wondering what it can do for you. Here are but a few things that it can completely cure.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, depression, scrotal discomfort, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, non-healthy gut, anxiety, excessive farting, multiple sclerosis, stage fright. And I know for my part, for the thing that I recently started, not to give anything away, but I recently started selling some stuff too. And, when I first started, I had like these really bad allergies. I mean, spring had just started, the pollen was really going crazy, and I was just sneezing like crazy. And then like after about a month and a half of, drinking this stuff that I'm going to talk about in just a minute, the allergies were gone. It was really miraculous. I can only blame or credit the drink. I couldn't think of any other reason why my allergies would go away when the pollen season was over. So,
Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, non-denial of real science, autism, irritable bowel syndrome, peanut allergies, fibromyalgia.
So yeah, like I said, I'll go ahead and reveal it. Just to see what it was like, because if this is a religion, I want to be a part of it. So I got in on the thing. It's called Spink Drink. It's kind of a weird name, but it's called Spink Drink. And it's, this is what it looks like. It's like a clear, pinkish, watery thing. You get a little bit of it's kind of a little bit of powder, and then you put a little bit of liquid in there. You add water and kind of stir it in, and you drink it about 3 times a day. Anytime you feel hungry or thirsty or bored, or if your allergies are acting up, or if you're having trouble with your sex life, or if your kids are misbehaving, or if you have cancer,
Scrapnoids, constipation of the long intestine, blood pressure not as perfect as Agent Cooper's, migraine headaches.
As soon as I started doing this, though, I'm like constantly having to defend. The first thing I have to say is that it's not a pyramid scheme, which is weird. I mean, I've been saying, is a pyramid scheme like religion? And then I said I joined a pyramid scheme. But what I'm finding myself learning is that people think that pyramid schemes are bad. And so what I have to do is change the term. And so I say it's not a pyramid scheme, and I tell them, what it is. It's, a lifestyle or something. And I give another point there for that being a religion, because as you know, religions are not religions, they're relationships. And I feel the same way about my relationship with my own pyramid scheme, which is not a pyramid scheme.
Dignity and shame, nighttime urination.
And I really just feel like we should all drink the Kool-Aid, drink the Spink Drink. All right. All right, everybody. That's the end of our show. We just got to do the final prayer and the final thought. For the final prayer, I want to keep this kind of quick. The blood, kind of tends to rush down while you're standing, but you probably don't want to know all the details. But for the final prayer, I just want, I wasn't able to get Percocet prescribed, and I feel like I really need it. So that's my prayer. Final thought for this week. Here's our final thought, and this is anonymous, but it says, God does not cause pain without allowing something new to be born. And that's very appropriate for today's episode, because it was a lot of pain to get this operation done. Certainly the circumcision, but the vasectomy also. But if I hadn't had the vasectomy, I couldn't have children. And so this is going to allow something to be born. Pain, something to be born, vasectomy. Cindy, what? What? A vasectomy. A vasectomy does what?
I believe in